Hello and welcome to Laytechs Weekly, episode 14th April 2021. Laytechs Weekly is brought to you by Laytechs, your protection from tech ignorance. My name is Sean. This week's news, Siri said next Apple event is on 20th April. To be fair, I tried asking Siri when is the next Apple event. She didn't tell me anything. She just led me to the apple.com event page, which showed me the event that is announced on the 20th of April. John Porter from The Verge said that it did tell him that it's happening on the 20th of April. The announcement did not reveal much, but many people have a strong suspicion that the new line of iPads are being launched. iPad mini, iPad and iPad Pros. The new iPad Pros will sport mini LED screens, which is a first for Apple. They have not been pushing out on very high resolution screens as much as the competitors are, and possibly an M1 equivalent of the A-powered chips. Other rumors also include AirTags, which has been in the works for a long time. AirTags are kind of like little tags where you put onto devices, where if you lose that device, you can ping that device from your mobile phone and it searches for the thing. Hopefully, yeah. So these are the few things, and then we have the June event, which is going to be the majority of the June WWDC, which is going to be majority of the releases on Macs and possibly, I don't think there's going to be AR VR devices, but a lot of these hints are showing kind of like, I guess people are picking up on hints that don't exist, because there are a lot of these banners or posters that show someone looking at the screen, and they're always wearing glasses, and there's a reflection from the screen, so they don't know if it's a reflection from the screen or the camera, the glasses itself is actually projecting a heads-up display. We will know in June, but in any case, for those people who are waiting for iPad Pros to come out, this will be the time. But they are saying that there will be chip shortage for the next coming few months, so you may not be able to get I don't think a lot of people will want iPad Pros, so there won't be people flocking into it. I guess maybe in the US and all that they would, but for everywhere else, you should still be able to get your iPad Pros. Google Photos video editor comes to Android. In a push to remove Google Photos' unlimited media storage capacity, Google has made it a point to increase the value of the app in hopes that people would find it worth their money to pay for the storage services. This should be happening, if I'm not wrong, it's June. And the video editor is one of such value. The enhanced video editor was previously released in iOS, which includes filters and cropping tools. The latter, which is a cropping tool, is very useful for Android users without a built-in function in their default camera app. iOS has a default function that lets you crop videos into any sizes. It's actually very useful because it lets people repurpose videos for various social media ratios. So let's say if you want it on Instagram 1:1, stories 9:16, YouTube 16:9. So you get to crop one single video instead of having to shoot in multiple formats. Google will also be releasing some machine learning powered tools that will only be available on Google One users. But to be clear, it does not include Google One users from all over the world. I'm on Google One and I don't get this capability, so maybe later. Google is known for not providing equal amount of services to everyone in the world, so it is quite frustrating that they can market all these things, but you may not be able to get it if you don't live within the vicinities of the G9, I guess. Samsung released Epic Secure Phone for home market. It comes with a special security chip called quantum cryptography. It is essentially a 2.5 mm square mm chip that is a quantum random number generator, or RQNG. This allows the phones to generate unpredictable and patternless true random numbers. It is a step to better security on Samsung devices, as more and more banking and other sensitive tasks are done using mobile devices. This is especially true in South Korea and many of the leading Asian countries, more so than the Western countries. In an age where passwords are beginning to see its limitation, a lot of, I think password is a very 90s thing, and it's time that we move forward from password. And technologies like these are required to bring digital security further into the future. So this phone, the Samsung Quantum, is only available in South Korea. So we won't be able to get it. But hopefully they can bring this security chip to the mass market devices like the Galaxy devices and the A devices. Galaxy S and Galaxy A and the Note. Apple may open first store in Malaysia. The people at TRX, Tun Razak Exchange, are in discussions with Apple Inc. to open its first Malaysian Apple Store in its space. It has been made official by the Edge newspaper, but it's also very clear that no news is on the progress. So nobody knows what's happening. This is official. This is probably just initial approach by the guys at TRX towards Apple. If Apple Store opens in Malaysia, it should probably need to have good architecture, in my opinion, because besides that, there isn't actually anything very unique in an Apple Store that a machines or any other place that sells Apple devices already have. Probably better customer service, which they should, because there aren't enough proper customer service places in Malaysia. So if they have one, then yeah. Either way, I think it's good for tourism and Instagram and all that stuff for an Apple Store to be in Malaysia. Celcom Digi merger gets green light. This is the kind of merger that can only happen in countries like Malaysia without much backlash from the public or consumer protection agencies. With only 3 major mobile ISPs in the market, this merger will make competition smaller and turn the industry into a duopoly. Yes, there are a lot of assurances that this move is good for the people, including the same excuses Facebook has given everybody for not breaking it up. Like, for example, a large entity can address bigger issues in the industry and can afford more expensive infrastructure and all that mumbo jumbo stuff. There are also assurances that Celcom and Digi will operate as separate entities, but who on earth buys that, right? So at the end of the day, we are looking at less competition, and it isn't true that bigger companies can afford more complicated infrastructure, because previously they have formed kind of like a coalition or a group that said that all of them should invest in singular infrastructure, and then they all kind of use that hardware infrastructure instead of them building each on their own, which is a very big thing, because 5G is a very, very expensive infrastructure to build compared to 4G and before that. And yeah, I don't buy that. I don't know about you guys, but in any case, yep, we have one less competition, and mobile ISPs are already very bad as it is in Malaysia, and it's just probably gonna get worse. Microsoft acquired company that worked on Siri. The acquisition of Nuance cost Microsoft $19.7 billion US, which is part of their great push into healthcare industry. The speech recognition company makes many healthcare-oriented products like software that help doctors dictate patient notes and automate radiology reports. Nuance is already used in 77% of US hospitals and over 55% of physicians and 75% of radiologists in the US. After the purchase of gaming giant Bethesda, Microsoft is also eyeing gaming chat platform Discord, so they are in quite a shopping spree. In any case, whatever happens to Nuance is a very enterprise thing, and it is also a very American thing. Voice recognition or speech recognition is something that is the toughest nut to crack, because you have people, just in English itself, you have hundreds of different dialects and slangs and ways of speaking it, and just by focusing in the US, you're not able to bring this and expand it to the rest of the world. So there is a lot of work to be done. It doesn't prove that by spending this amount of money, Microsoft can all of a sudden be able to improve their speech recognition and to cater to all of us. It will still take a bit of time. It will probably start with the US and countries that speak English like them. That's all for this week's Laytechs Weekly. Laytechs Weekly is available on Anchor FM, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and more. Our full videos are available on YouTube, and I post bits and clips on Instagram and Facebook. This is Laytechs Weekly, episode 14th April 2021. My name is Sean. Stay safe. See you next week. Au revoir.